Hello, hello. I am back. It's been a minute, and by a minute I mean almost a week since my last video. And yeah, in all honesty, so I've had the outline for this video kind of planned and scoped out for like a few days now. I think since the weekend, since Sunday or something. But I genuinely just have not had the time to actually sit down and record it. So um, yeah, just life's been busy at work. Um, what happened over the weekend? Oh yeah, so I hung out with some friends on Saturday. Had a little get together at my place, and then that night, one of my friends. So I think we were like washing dishes or something, and then one of my friends put like a shot glass, like a tiny little thing, into the sink, and it fell into the sink, and then my sink, I don't know if everyone's sink is like this, but my sink has like the food disposal underneath, which is basically just like it's like this blade inside the sink, and it just spins and chops up like food and stuff that you throw in there. And I didn't know the glass was in there, so I turned on the food disposal and I just heard it shatter, and I was like, oh crap. Um, so yeah, I spent my Sunday morning just picking out glass from my sink. Uh, yeah, very very exciting. Um, so yeah, hope your guys' weekend was better than mine. With that being said, and yeah, like I was saying, I've had this video kind of planned out for a while now. This topic was suggested originally by someone on the Google form, therapy session Google form, which I've linked in the description if anyone wants to submit more things. But it was originally submitted there. I just heard my headphones say that they're low on battery, so we'll make this quick. Um, and yeah, it was a while ago, so I apologize for not getting to it. Also, it's dark now. Jeez. Okay. I was gonna originally put it in the last video, the therapy session video, along with all the other ones, but that video started running long, and I was like, okay, I feel like this topic deserves more than like the 3 minutes that I'm gonna give it in this video. Um, so yeah, I decided to make a new video, like a full video out of this topic, because I think it's worth talking about. Can I really not sleep yet? There we go. Okay. Um, but yeah, subscribe, like if you enjoy the content and stuff. Really appreciate the support on the last couple videos. Thank you all very much. Means a lot. And yeah, so I guess before I get into this is obviously going to be a video about like, you know, mental health and stuff like that. So I feel like I gotta put out a little disclaimer. If you really are struggling with your mental health, definitely go consult a medical professional because, believe it or not, the guy on the internet with a silly dog profile picture on YouTube is not a medical professional. So yeah, definitely um, seek out an actual medical professional if you feel like you are having um, mental health issues. Obviously, very, very important. So, yeah, point is, don't rely on me. I'm not a mental health professional. But yeah, felt like I had to get that disclaimer out of there first. Oh, I have seeds on me. I'm gonna start a farm today. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna be talking about kind of like so I guess the title of this video is like what loneliness does to you, right? Well, I think that is important to address. I think the more important part is to kind of talk about like how do you deal with it, which was actually the original submission on the Google form. Is how does an MF deal with loneliness, and that's where I got the video idea from. I think that's the more important part. So that'll be the majority, like the biggest focus of the video. Um, So, yeah, first thing I wanted to talk about is, I guess, just like personal experience and my own background. I always like to give a little bit. Um, why is why is this turning to dirt? Can I not kill it? Okay, I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I always like to give a little bit of insight from my own life, because I feel like it's important to like make it personal, to feel personal, you know. Um, but yeah, like I feel like a lot of us, a lot of you watching this video probably have been through similar things, right? Like I think there's always been a point in our life where we felt lonely and isolated and felt like there's like no one around us to talk to hang out with, that sort of stuff. Um, and I've definitely been through my fair share of that. Like I've moved around a couple times at this point in my life now. Like I moved out of moved away from home for university. Um, Moved away from home for work. Moved very far actually, like almost across the country. Um, and yeah, like I feel like every time that drastic change in your life happens, I feel like loneliness definitely just comes along with it because you gotta make new friends, you gotta adapt to like a new environment, completely new surroundings, new people, new places, all that. So, um, as I feel like human beings are social creatures, right? Like I'm sure you've heard people say that. But I feel like no matter how, I guess like introverted you really think you are, I feel like at the end of the day, we all still need some sort of like meaningful connection to someone else. Why is this turning back into dirt? I don't get how this works. This version confuses me, man. Um, but yeah, like I feel like everyone needs to make those connections. It doesn't matter with who, whether it be like a friend or like a um, I don't know, like a romantic partner or like family, that sort of stuff. I feel like everyone needs that connection to really feel like um, I don't know, to feel like complete, I guess, in a way. Um, but yeah, yeah, that's kind of like what I want to talk about to start this. Um, and then also another point that I wanted to talk about was I think that there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. And I think those are two sort of concepts that I feel like people kind of use interchangeably that I don't fully agree with. I think they both have like very different meanings or like connotations, right? Like I think um, whoever submitted the Google form thing, I assume you were talking about loneliness as in like feeling, I guess the way I put it was like mentally isolated from other people, as opposed to just being alone, which I think is just like being alone is just like it's like you're like physically isolated, right? Like I feel like you could be alone but still not feel lonely. Like if you're in the middle of a forest with no one around you, you're alone, but you might not feel lonely. Um, it's more of like an in the moment thing. Like you're alone. That's how I view it. Whereas like loneliness, like I feel like you can still be surrounded by a lot of people. Like you hear people say like they're surrounded by a bunch of people and that they still feel lonely. I think that's like a very different thing. I feel like it's something a bit more like I don't know, profound than just being alone. Because I think being alone is more just like a physical state of being, right? I don't know, man. I'm just saying things. Um, but yeah. So I guess in terms of what loneliness does to a person, I kind of alluded to it, but I feel like humans, us as humans need to have some sort of like companionship or feel like a sense of belonging to like a community, um, in order to like uh, truly like feel good, right? Or like feel complete, as I put it. Um, so I think when you like lack that sense of community, I think that's where uh, you really start to feel like truly lonely. Um, and like I was saying, like I think it's not about being by yourself. Like for example, right? Like you move to like a new school or something, or you start college, let's say, like obviously there's a ton of people all the time like around you when you're in college. Like you're surrounded by other students, by teachers, by like random people on your campus, right? But like if you don't feel like a sense of belonging, like before you join like before you like find your friend group, or I don't know, like before you like join that like club that you're trying to join, like I feel like that's when loneliness comes in. Even though like there's so many people around you. um I know like people have like I feel like I've heard people say like, oh, like you're like around so many people all the time, like how do you feel lonely? But I feel like that's like those are two like very different things, you know. um and like I don't think I need to talk about like all the negative effects. I feel like that's all stuff that you probably know. So my game feels a little laggy. It feels weird. I feel like this is all stuff that you know, right? Like if you've experienced it, you know it's like obviously you're gonna feel sad, you're gonna feel down, like your mood's not gonna be great. I don't know. I feel like that's all like very very basic stuff. I think what's more important is to address um, like how do you deal with it? How do you I don't want to say cope because I feel like cope sounds like cope sounds like you're like I don't know, like trying to like distract yourself from it, but like how do you actually deal with it? I feel like that's the harder part. I think that's the important part to address in this video. Um, so the first thing that I have on my little outline here, I feel like I'm like genuinely beating a dead horse when I say this because I feel like I just say it in all my videos. I mean, I have a whole video about it, but I feel like you just gotta like get off of social media at some point, man. Like that's social media, like believe it or not, I feel like it doesn't really make you social. You probably heard that elsewhere too. Like I'm not like this isn't a novel idea, but I truly feel like social media does not do that much good for you, especially if you're already feeling lonely. I just don't think it does any good for you. Um, I think nowadays when you're on social media, especially if you're like following, I don't want to like call anyone out here. That's not my intention, but like one example I can think of is like if you're like following celebrities and like influencers and stuff, like I feel like you're living your life through their lenses, or like you're living your life through them. And like I feel like that's just bad. I feel like that's just bad. Because if you're living your life through them, you're gonna like I feel like it's gonna be harder for you to find meaning in your own life when you're just like going about your day. You know, like you shouldn't like get sucked into their world, I feel like. Um and then that kind of ties into the second point, which I think is very closely related. I think it's that it's like the whole topic of parasocial relationships. Um I feel like you've maybe heard the term before. You probably know what it means if you have heard the term. I had to like look up the actual textbook definition because I was like, okay, like what do people actually define as a parasocial relationship? And I think um, there's one thing. I think it might have been like the the AI generated Google responses. I feel like those aren't great a lot of the time, but I feel like this one's really funny. I think it said something like a parasocial relationship is when like one person um what did they say? And it was like when one person has an obsession over another person and that other person doesn't know they exist. And I feel like that's a little bit extreme, right? But I think it captures the idea correctly. And I think parasocial relationships have gotten like a lot worse, um like have become a lot more common in recent years because of like this rise in like social media with all these like streamers and influencers and stuff. Um, and I feel like that's a big contributing factor to loneliness. Because if you think about it, right, like a parasocial relationship is like it's a one-sided relationship. Um, like, holy crap, there's so many mobs. Um, like the Google search was saying, like it's when one person doesn't even know you exist, yet like the other person thinks that you guys are like friends or something like that. Which is kind of crazy, but okay. Oh, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. This would suck. Okay. But yeah, I feel like you just gotta avoid that stuff at all costs. I feel like if especially if you're already feeling like that sense of loneliness, it's only gonna like what's the word for it? Exacerbate it, I think is the word. Like, it's only gonna make it worse. Um, so yeah, just like getting off the internet for a while, like I feel like that's like the easiest way to like not cure loneliness, but like make things better, you know. And I realized like there's holy crap, guys, what the heck? Okay, um, where's my helmet? Okay, what was I saying? Uh, yeah, like it's it's obviously it's hard to like completely get off the internet and all that, but like I feel like just being on the internet less. I don't know, just like scrolling less. Like just like literally go outside. They say it really is that damn phone, you know? It really is that damn phone. The cause of a lot of our problems. Um but yeah, okay, enough about all the social media stuff. I feel like I've talked about that enough on this channel. But I had to work it in one more time. Um I think another interesting thing that I was thinking about was, because I feel like I've been in this boat. I feel like there've been times where I feel really lonely, right? And I'm like in my head, I'm like, okay, why am I lonely? Why am I lonely? Okay, I have friends, I have people I hang out with regularly, I have people I talk to regularly. Um, why do I still feel lonely though? Is it because like I'm not in a relationship maybe? And I've had that thought before, and maybe y'all have had that thought before too. I know, like I've talked with other people, and they've had that thought before. It's like, oh, like if I get in a relationship, it's gonna make everything better. Like I'm not gonna feel lonely anymore. First of all, I think that is completely false. I think it's a bad way of thinking. I think if you're getting in a relationship because you feel lonely, first of all, I think that relationship just isn't gonna last. And second of all, it's not gonna make you feel any better. I think. Like I think you really have to, um, you have to, what is it like? You have to learn to like be. You have to be content with being alone. Um, before I feel like you can say that like a relation before you're ready for a relationship is what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah. So relationship won't cure loneliness. That's how I feel about that. Um, because I think not from personal experience, like actually not from personal experience. I'm not even like joking here. But I think that like just thinking about it from like a high level here, if if you're getting into a relationship because you feel lonely, I think that's gonna lead to like really bad habits and like potentially like a really bad dynamic between you and that other person, because I think it's gonna introduce like some level of like you're gonna feel some level of like dependency on that other person. Because if the reason you got into a relationship in the first place was because you felt lonely, then you're gonna like do everything in your power to not feel lonely again, right? And then you might just have like that might just create like this unhealthy dependency on the other person, or like this unhealthy attachment to that other person. So I think you have to really um like I guess like understand yourself and um, be comfortable with like being independent and not relying on anyone before you can like truly have like a good relationship. I didn't mean for this to be like a whole like relationship talk. I That was like a whole nother video, but that was something that I thought of when I thought of this topic. Um, I guess it's like a this that whole topic was like a don't do in terms of like how to deal with loneliness. Like don't try and like use a relationship um to like fight back against feelings of loneliness. That's just a bad idea. um yeah. That was all that I wrote down, but I'm gonna like one other thing that just came into my mind as well. um like I think if you're okay, this is easier said than done, admittedly. Like I realize it's not easy for everyone to do this, but I feel like you just gotta like put yourself out there. Like genuinely, I feel like that's just the hard truth. Like you just gotta put yourself out there. You gotta like throw yourself into the deep end and like put yourself in, you know, situations that might make you uncomfortable, you know? Like if if you feel like you're lonely all the time, like go out and like I don't know, like go to like go join like a club at your school or something, or like go do like a new activity that you haven't done. Like I feel like genuinely you just need to like throw yourself out there and just like, for lack of a better word, just kind of like um what was, I don't even remember what I was gonna say, but yeah, I feel like you just need to like you just need to bite the bullet, you know. And again, easier said than done. I realize like it's, especially if you're like a fairly introverted person like me, I feel like it's tough to just, you know, say you're gonna go do something and then just do it. Like I get it. um but you know, that's something I feel like I've been trying to do recently, is just accept more opportunities, like start saying yes to more things. And I feel like naturally that will just lead you to like more interesting situations, like more enriching experiences. And I think you'll just naturally meet people along the way, um, when you're getting out of your comfort zone, you know. But yeah, I think that's honestly the most important takeaway, is just it's just like if there's one thing to take away from that video, I feel like it's just that. I know it's kind of like a basic point, but um, that's genuinely how I feel, and that's what I feel like has worked for me over the years, when dealing with this kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, that's all I really had. This video is very rambly. I realize that. But hopefully y'all get something out of this video. I don't know. Not every video is gonna be like super on track, and this is one of those rambly videos. I feel like I talked about like a bunch of things, but yeah. Uh, yeah. Hope y'all have a good day, night, whatever. It is currently like 10 p.m. and I'm about to go sleep after I stop recording. I might go eat something too, but yeah. See y'all later. See you in the next video. Hopefully I get more time to upload more frequently. Yep, see ya.